Elon Musk tells Joe Rogan the Democrat Party wants to destroy democracy in marathon interview. And that's exactly true. I mean, if I don't understand how you can be a reasonable, logical, average American and be a Democrat, unless you're some nut job or, you one of the, you subscribe to the crazy leftist ideology, like open borders, or, you believe in putting other countries before our country, and all this other nonsense that the Democrats push in the Democratic agenda that's super duper unpopular. I don't understand how any reasonable American can be for that. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip in here with what Elon Musk and Joe Rogan has to say about this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. You'll find a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller News Foundation, and they report that Elon Musk railed against the Democrat Party's immigration policy during a 3-hour interview on the Joe Rogan Experience posted Friday. President Donald Trump won the 2024 election on a platform of conducting mass deportations and reducing government waste. Musk defended the Trump administration's efforts on the podcast while attacking the Democrats for their opposition, which he said was undemocratic. I mean, because look at it. No one voted for Kamala Harris during a primary. They just exalted her as like the forerunner, for the Democrat Party, the running for president, when no one actually voted for her. Like, this is just and they call themselves the Democratic Party. They did the same thing when they foisted Hillary Clinton on the American people and nobody voted for. Like, it's the crazy thing to call themselves the Democrat Party, but they don't actually vote or do anything democratic. But let's play this clip, the first clip here. We got a few clips here. Let's play the first one. Here we go.
If Trump had lost, there would never have been another real election again.
I believe that.
Because Trump is actually enforcing the border. Now, you can point to situations where there's been, immigration enforcement has been overzealous, because they're not going to be perfect. There'll be cases where they've been overzealous in expelling illegals. But if you say that the standard must be perfection for expelling illegals, then you will not get any expulsion.
Won't get anything done,
because perfection is impossible.
And you've probably got millions of people that are here that are trying to be here under some asylum pretense, right?
Yes.
Like you could just come from a war-torn part of the world.
They changed the definition of asylum to be economic
right.
asylum.
Which is everybody.
It wasn't that at first. It wasn't where you can just be from a poor country and just come to the United States and get all these handouts. It didn't used to be like that. And until Biden.
Which is everybody.
Yeah.
So
it's the lowest bar to prove.
Asylum is supposed to mean that if you go back to your country, you'll get killed. Right. That's what we mean by asylum. That was what it's supposed to mean. They changed the definition of asylum to be you will have a decreased standard of living, which is obviously not.
So basically, welcoming the whole world. They want us to be able to our taxes go to the entire world. They want to make it where if you come from any poor country, you can just come to the United States and get these handouts. It's ridiculous.
Not real asylum. And you can test the absurdity of this by the fact that people who are asylum seekers go on vacation to the country that they're seeking asylum from.
Make that make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
That's crazy. I never even thought about that. The people that seek asylum, because their country is supposedly so bad, they go back and vacation in those same countries. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Let's check out another clip here. Here we go.
Yes, the entire basis for the government shutdown is that the Trump administration correctly does not want to send massive amounts of, like, hundreds of billions of dollars to fund illegal immigrants in the blue states, or in all the states, really.
Yeah. I mean, and they're actually and we're trying to find out how many illegal aliens are actually getting stuff like welfare and food stamps and stuff, and the Democrats are suing so we don't get this information. They don't want us to know how many illegals are on the rolls, how many illegals our tax money is actually funding. It's disgusting.
And so the Democrats want to keep the money spigot going to incent illegal immigrants to come into the U.S. who will vote for them. That's the crux of the battle.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
So they want to stop this. So what's going on right now is they have been funding these people. They've been giving them EBT cards. They've been giving them Medicaid, and they've been even housing.
And more
them.
than that, just like they were taking hotels, like 4 and 5 star hotels, like the Roosevelt Hotel being the classic example. They were sending, I think, $60 million a year to the Roosevelt Hotel, to which all it did was house illegals. Now, it used to be a nice hotel. I mean, it still is a nice hotel. But all around the country, this was happening.
And all tax dollars.
Yes.
Yeah. And
the Trump administration cut off funding, for example, to the Roosevelt Hotel and these other hotels, saying like it's U.S. tax dollars should not be sent to have luxury hotels for illegal immigrants that American citizens can't even afford.
That's crazy.
Which obviously,
while we got veterans living on the street, you got homeless people living on the street. When all our money, we're sending our money to house people that shouldn't even be here in the first place. It's crazy.
Is the case. That's insane. That's what was happening. They were also giving out like debit cards with $10,000. So it's not just about medical care.
Yeah.
The Democrats mention the medical care because they're trying to prey on people's empathy as much as possible, and then they imagine, oh wow, somebody has a desperately needed medical procedure, and shouldn't we maybe take care of them in that regard? But what they do is they divert the Medicaid funds and turn it into a slush fund for the states that goes well beyond emergency medical care. And New York and California would be bankrupt without the massive fraudulent federal payments that go to those states to pay for illegals, to create a massive financial incentive for illegals.
How would they be bankrupt?
Facts. Crazy stuff. Republicans have repeatedly accused Democrats of shutting down the government in order to fund health care for illegal migrants, but they have denied the allegations. The Congressional Budget Office, or CBO, estimated in June that around 1.4 million individuals who would be removed from Medicaid under the reconciliation bill that Trump signed in July, quote, would be people who do not meet citizenship and immigration status requirements for Medicaid enrollment, but who would be covered under current law in programs funded by the states. Musk elaborated on his theory about the shutdown minutes later, appearing to shock Rogan. So let's play this one. Is this the last one here? No, we got a couple more. Here we go.
And the reason you have the standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave.
Facts.
Because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States.
Yeah, you are incentivizing these people because you're giving them handouts. So of course you're going to go where people are giving you money. Why wouldn't? I mean, I'm not really blaming the illegal immigrants that's coming over here, because we're doing it. If we weren't giving these handouts to them, they wouldn't be coming here. It's simple.
And stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill,
Yes.
especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, like, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. And the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy,
Yes.
as they try to destroy democracy
Facts.
Yes.
by importing voters.
That is
and
literally what they're
incentivizing
doing.
people to only vote for them and overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy. So
I'm sure you're paying attention to this Proposition 50 thing.
Oh yeah.
no,
That's the thing in California
In
where they're trying to redo districts.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, California's already gerrymandered like crazy.
Already?
Yeah.
They want to gerrymander it even more. And I mean,
because it keeps moving further and further right. Like if you look at the map of California, each voting cycle, more and more people are waking up and going, "What the fuck?" And we need to do something to fix this. The only option available, other than the policies that you guys have always done, is go right. And so a lot of people have been air quotes red pilled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then here's another thing that is very important. Fact that is actually not disputed by either side, which is that when we do the census in the United States, the way the census works for apportionment of congressional seats and electoral college votes for the president is by number of persons in a state, not number of citizens.
Right.
It's number of people. So you could literally be a tourist, and you will count.
Now, how do they do the census when they do that? Do they ask people? Do they knock on doors? Do they have them fill out forms? Like what?
Yeah, I think they mail out census forms and knock on doors. But the way the law reads right now, is that if you are a human with a pulse, then you count in the census for allocating congressional seats and presidential votes.
And again, it didn't used to be like that. It used to be citizens.
Right.
So so
electoral college,
everything.
Congressional seats, everything.
It doesn't matter whether you're here legally, illegally, and if you're a human with a pulse, you count for congressional apportionment. So
this is why the Democrats are trying to flood the zone with illegals.
So that means that the more illegals that California and New York can import by the time the census happens in 2030, the more congressional seats they will have, and the more presidential electoral college votes they will have. So they're trying to get as many illegals in as possible ahead of the census, and because all human beings, even tourists, count for the census. Great. And then if you combine that with gerrymandering of districts in New York and California, as you point out with this proposition where they're trying to increase the amount of gerrymandering that occurs in California, the biggest state in the country. So if the census then would award more congressional seats to California because of a vast number of illegals, and New York and Illinois, so they'll get more congressional seats. They'll get more presidential electoral college votes. That would get them the House, a majority in the House, and they would get to decide who is president.
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. We've been talking about this for years. Toward the end of the interview, Musk countered Trump critics who he said believe the president is analogous to the devil. Ridiculous. Last clip here. This is the last clip here. Here we go.
Which, I mean, some people still think, Trump is like the devil, basically. And I mean, I think Trump actually is not perfect, but he's not evil. Trump is not evil.
It's obvious he wants people in this country. He wants the country to succeed. That's where American First comes from. It's obvious.
a lot of time with him, and he's a product of his time, but he's not evil.
No, I don't think he's evil either. But if you look at the media coverage,
the media treats him like he's super evil. Yeah,
it's pretty shocking if you look at the amount of negative coverage. Like, one of the things that I looked at the other day was mainstream media coverage of you, Trump, a bunch of different public figures, and then
it's like
Mamdani.
96% negative or something crazy.
Yeah. And then Mamdani, which is like 95% positive.
Crazy,
right?
A socialist.
Mamdani is a charismatic swindler.
Yep.
You got to hand it to him. Like he can light up a stage, but he has just been a swindler his entire life, I think he's likely to win. He's likely to be mayor of New York City.
Very likely.
Yeah, very likely.
I think what Polymarket has it at what? What is the 94%?
Yeah, that sounds pretty likely.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm not sure who the 6% are, So that's.
Well, it's also like, who's on the other side? The fucking guardian angel guy with the beret, and Andrew Cuomo, who doesn't even have a party. Like, the Democrats don't even want him. Yeah. So you have those two options. And then you have the young kids who are like, finally, socialism.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about, obviously.
Well, the school system been teaching them that socialism is a good thing. That's what happened. And I remember when I first noticed this, I used to work for a carpet cleaning company. And I worked with the company's, the owner's son that was still in high school at the time. He was like young. He was like in 10th or 11th grade, helping us out and stuff. And he was talking about how wonderful, and this was probably 2012. No. Before that, probably 2010. It was around 2010. And he was talking about how wonderful socialism was, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this can't be real. You messing with me, right? And that's when I first found out that the schools was teaching children that socialism is a good thing. I couldn't believe it, because growing up, for me, we were told about how terrible socialism was, and they gave us examples of how it destroyed economies and countries and stuff like that. And it was so weird to me that there was a young kid talking about how great socialism was, and they really sold it to these kids. It's crazy.
Like you just look at this: how many boats come from Cuba to Florida, and how many boats? Because there's like a constant. I always think, like, how many boats are accumulating on the shores of Florida coming from Cuba?
Right.
There's a whole bunch of free boats that you could, if you want to, go take them back to Cuba. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people don't do that.
People don't do that.
Why are the boats only coming in this direction?
I love that analogy. I'm gonna use it.
Well, who are the most rabid capitalists in America? The fucking Cubans.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, we've seen how this story goes.
We do not want exactly.
Fuck off. They don't want the Cubans in Miami, they don't want to hear any bullshit.
Right.
They don't want to hear any socialism.
That's right. I'm gonna end it on that. But y'all, let me know what y'all think about all this, especially pertaining to the Democrat Party. You think Democrats want to destroy democracy? Leave your comments down below. Even though, and I know I'm gonna get some people to say we're not a democracy. That's true, but you know what we mean by democracy. So let's just roll with it. Y'all, let me know what y'all think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.